Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Annual Ataxia Conference. My name is Joel Sutherland, and I'm the Director of Development here at the National Ataxia Foundation. I'll be serving as your host for the next 4 days. We have a great agenda lined up for you over these next 4 days. Everything from the latest in ataxia research, from our leading ataxia investigators from around the country, to panelists talking about ataxia issues, from dating with ataxia to family planning. We've got a number of networking opportunities for you as well. We've got a regional networking opportunity coming up this afternoon where you'll be able to go into a room and meet with people from your part of the country. Sometimes you'll be meeting new friends, and in others, by all means, you'll be reconnecting with others. We hope you enjoy that. It promises to be a great 4 days. What's kind of nice about this year's conference is, you know what, you'll be able to ask a question at any time. You just click on the people icon on the left side of your screen, and then you'll open up on the right side. You'll be able to see who's ever in the room with you. Down at the bottom, there's a place for you to where a chat box is, and you'll be able to ask your questions. No more will people have to raise their hand in a ballroom of 500-600 people, have a microphone come over to them, have them stand up and ask their question. You can ask it at any time. And what the heck, if you just want to say hi, by all means, please do. We may not be able to answer all your questions now, but trust, we'll get to all your questions over the next week or so and make sure all your questions are answered. Well, the title of our conference is Ataxia Unmasked. Come as you are. Well, I'm unmasked, but trust me, I don't come like this to the office every day. Nope, today I'm your human logo. The reason being is several years ago, we embarked on an initiative to rebrand the National Ataxia Foundation. And during that time, we surveyed our board of directors, we served our membership community, we surveyed our caregivers, our staff, our support group leaders and members of our support groups from around the country. And those surveys kind of led to our new logo. And what I mean by that is, well, the dark blue, that emulates strength, a solid foundation, blue ribbon, a winner. The light blue, well, that illustrates compassion. And I think for those of you who've been in our community for a number of years, there's a lot of compassion. Once again, all the way from the board of directors to our medical research advisory board, staff, and throughout the country, this is a very compassionate community. And let's not forget the tie. The tie is gold, representing hope. Hope for that disease-modifying treatment coming soon. Last time I wore this outfit was at our conference 2 years ago in Las Vegas, and actually it fits a little better than it did 2 years ago. But what it stands for is still the same: strength, compassion, and hope. That leads us into our first session for this conference. It's called Newcomers. And my co-presenter for this year is not just a friend of mine, but a true friend of the entire National Ataxia Foundation. She's a knowledgeable wife of someone who lives with 2 rare diseases, ataxia and mitochondrial. And her goal and her mission is to really share reputable information about ataxia to everyone and anyone who will listen. And she's done that through more than 300 podcasts in 17 countries. Please welcome my co-presenter for the Newcomers session of the 2021 Annual Ataxia Conference, Dana Morrow. Dana?
Thanks, Joel, for the great introduction. Missing you this year, but I can see you virtually, so at least I can see you. That makes me feel better. Usually we're like glued to each other's hips, and so this year is going to be interesting to be a little separate, but I'm happy to join you in this.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the opportunity to be on stage with you over the last couple of years of our conferences. It's certainly something we miss, but we'll certainly make the most out of it, won't we?
Yeah, we definitely will. And I'm really here to talk to you about this session, which is for first timers. And really, everybody is a first timer this year. This is the first time that we have ever offered this conference virtually. But there are some really great perks that come along with that. One of them is the opportunity to be able to attend and get the benefit of hearing all the speakers firsthand, right? So I think that this is really a cool thing that we're experiencing this year. And although we can't all be together, we can experience this together and, learn from it and see what was good about it because there may be some benefits to having this virtual conference, and we're going to try to make it the most exciting 4 days for you. I want to tell you that it is 4 days long, which is a really long time. And I want to share with you my experience at my first conference. So it was a ways back. It was in 2009 when I went to my first conference, and it was in Seattle, Washington. And I'll tell you, when I walked in there, John was newly diagnosed with ataxia. And it was just mind-blowing because we went to this conference, we didn't know what to expect. And we were full of questions. And so literally, I went to every single talk that was given that weekend. I don't think I moved out of my chair. And I had a notebook like this thick of notes that I had feverishly written down. And, the concepts were all new. And I was just concerned about what this diagnosis meant for our family, for John, for us as a couple. And so I don't think I really truly enjoyed that session because I was so on a mission to get as much information as I possibly could. And so sharing from that perspective, I want to say to you, pace yourself. The conference will be recorded. You will have an opportunity to go back and listen to some of the speakers. And you really want to be choosy about what you're attending, because let's face it, you can't sit at your computer from 12 to 4 for 4 days. It's just not realistic, right? So go on to the National Ataxia Foundation's website and look at the itinerary for the 4 days and select those things that are of most interest to you. And know that the other things you can pick up and view because they're going to be recorded. So I think that would be my number one piece of advice to you, is to just really look at that itinerary and select those things that are most important to you based on what you're going through, what your experience is today. And then just know that the other sessions are available to you. One of the cool things about this conference is something that's happening on the 4th day. It's called the Birds of a Feather. And what a Birds of a Feather session is you attend this session, they're small breakout sessions. You attend this session with other people that share your same diagnosis. So if you have, an SCA type of ataxia, you'll be in a room with other people that have SCA. And what's great about that is that you are going to talk about everything related to that particular type of ataxia, all your worries, all your concerns, and you're going to meet people and you're going to find your tribe of people, right? We all want to connect with those people that are experiencing something so similar to what we're going through. And it is the one time that you will be able to do that. I have made friends in 2009 that are still my friends today, because it is just an unbreakable bond. I can't even explain to you what it feels like to go into something feeling so all alone. And then you walk into a room and everyone in that room is going through the exact same thing that you are. You don't have to explain it. They already know because they're living it too. And you just form this immediate bond, and it's just lasting, it's everlasting. And so I would highly recommend going to the Birds of a Feather, going to the Birds of a Feather session, because it's just going to be a really great opportunity for you to network with others that are sharing a similar experience. The other thing that's going to be cool is NAF is going to provide some social media addresses and some images that you can stay connected via Twitter, via Facebook, via Instagram while you're at the session. So that's kind of cool too. You can tell people, what you're going through and share some of those experiences. Something else is there's some really fun activities that are planned too. And I encourage you to take part in those. There's going to be a dance party. I'm going to be there. And Joel, Mary from Arizona, and she is dying to go to the dance party, and she's already asked several people to save her a dance. So, geared up about that. Also, there's going to be, a welcome reception. And as Joel mentioned, when he, welcomed everybody today, there's going to be, these networking sessions that happen on Wednesday and Thursday throughout the session. And it's geographical networking sessions where you can hook up with people from your geography. So it's just really cool. And then something else that's really interesting too is there's going to be continuous events going on. And those are, the exhibitors hall, and there's going to be other opportunities to network. So I think NAF's done a really great job to create an environment where we all feel like we're together, even though we're separated. So I would encourage you to take part in all the networking sessions that are being offered. I just think that those are really invaluable. And, especially if this is your first time, you want to meet as many friends as you can. It's just a really great time. And I'm trying to think, other than that, I think hearing from the researchers and the doctors, that's really key because they're on the cutting edge. The researchers are doing the research for ataxia, and there are some breakthroughs that are happening. So you want to hear about those. And then our two keynote speakers this year are just fantastic. We have Dr. Sue Perlman from UCLA, and then we also have Dr. Jeremy Schmaman from Mass General Hospital in Boston. And they are going to talk about, just some very current, important topics. Like Jeremy Schmaman's going to be talking about cognition and how ataxia affects somebody in that regard and what the latest is on that. And then Sue Perlman is going to be talking about drug treatments. So, there's something, those two sessions are something to tune into, absolutely. And I don't know, I think in summary, I would just like to say to you, have a game plan, go into this thing knowing what sessions you want to attend and make the most out of your time, really prioritize. What do you want to go to? What are you looking to get out of the conference? And then, as I said earlier, know that the sessions will be recorded. So you can always go back and catch something that you may have missed. So I hope that you found this helpful. I'm just sharing from my heart. These are some things that I experienced, and I just want to pass that knowledge on to you. So have a fabulous time at the conference. I'm hoping to see many of you in some of these networking sessions. And I'm really excited for these 4 days. I really can't wait for this to get started. So,
Dana, with this session, I know the one thing that we both want our attendees to realize and to know is that they're not alone. We have, there's a lot of resources, and this conference can be a great place to connect with folks.
You know what, Joel, that's key, because from speaking personally, from my personal experience, I felt very alone when John and I showed up to our first conference, and we were very overwhelmed. I mean, you're getting, this diagnosis gets dropped on you in some cases. In our case, it did. And so we didn't know much about it at all. And to find the foundation was such a blessing because you are a wealth of information. So I would add that to what you just said, is that the foundation provides so much reputable information about ataxia. And that is really what is needed when you're going through this first, when you're first newly diagnosed with this.
Right.
So I would agree with you. I think that is key. And also the networking, finding those other people that you can relate to that understand exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.